Okay, all right. This is the introduction slides that you can access from the link. All right. So welcome everyone to the class called Information Technology for Logistics. So this is a new class that I and Ajahn Attapon just teach this year. So you are the first set of students. So thank you for choosing us and bear with us a little bit while we figuring things out. Okay. So this class number is 255766, Information Technology for Logistics. And as I mentioned, there are two instructors in this class. So me, it's Ajahn Niran, ชื่อปูนะครับ my nickname is ปู and อาจารย์อัตพล อาจารย์ปึ้ง so I will be with you for the first part, meaning up until midterm, and then อาจารย์อัตพล will take over after that. Okay. So what are we learning? So this course is a bit broad. When you say information technology, it usually has something to do with computer, software, networking, applications, or devices, IoT. So anything you can kind of fall into the category of information technology. So what ended up happening is that we just pick the topics that we are familiar with, like something that I can teach you, something that I've been working on that relates to information technology. So for me, I've been involved in what's called the enterprise resource planning. It's called ERP systems. And that is mostly software, but it's also involved a lot of, quite a bit of business analysis, and also some technical knowledge in terms of like IT, networking and stuff. So we'll see how it goes, okay? And the second part, Ajahn Attapon mentioned to me, but I think it might change a little bit depending on what he came up with. But he wants us to show you how to do a full stack application. But when I say full stack, it's something that lives on the server. It's called the database first. And then there's an application that runs on the server computer. It's called backend applications. And then something that's run on your web browser, for example, that would be the front-end application. So kind of like the technology that kind of power the application that we use every day on the internet. It's called the full stack application. So that's what he told me. It might change a little bit. I'm not sure, but I'll update to you if he changes his mind, okay? In terms of grading, we just split the score into 50% each part. And I don't know about Ajahn Attapon yet. I think he'll tell you later. But for me, I think it will be, I guess I just, the work that you'll be doing, divided into projects and exam. So mostly I think the project will be more, I guess it should, most of the points should go toward the projects, because in the ERP system, usually you do some project. And then that's probably going to be more, I guess, more fun and more, I guess, learning should happen in the project rather than the exam itself. But the exam is just going to be maybe multiple choice. I'm not sure, like answering questions. I'm not, depending on what's appropriate. Okay. Okay. So the big thing about this this part should be the project. So I haven't told you anything about ERP yet, but think about ERP as the software that can help you manage business process of the entire organization. So normally, if you set up a business, you probably have business process in your head, and then you might use certain software like Microsoft Excel to do some accounting, or maybe you take like recording some sale and purchases. But that is actually just part of the activity, just only a small part of the activity that occur in the organizations. So ERP take a different approach. It tries to actually encapsulate every business process into the single software. So basically centralize everything, and it's actually you will see that it's going to transform the way that you operate the business. Quite a big deal. And so I think it might be a good exercise to, if you start learning about the ERP software, and then you can kind of implement this thing in a real world or simulated context, right? So let me tell you just a little bit about the project, and then we'll explain it more as we learn the software, okay? So basically, I'm imagining that, okay, once you start learning about the ERP system, then you are right here at the steps, right? And maybe after a couple weeks, then after you get to know the software a bit more and then you know what's going on, then I want you to find some business. So select a business, right? It can be real. So if it's real, that's the best way. Like the best way is to just experiment with the real organization. So it can be like a local business, like a shop that sells like bakery shops, or it can be even your family business, or it can be your friend's business, or it can be simulated too. Like if you don't have any other context, you can just materialize it in your head. It's fine. But if you have a real business, I think that will be a much more fun experience, a good experience, okay? And once you select the business, the next part is to actually analyze the business requirement. So what's going on in the business? How do they operate in terms of the flow of activities, right? So what's going to end up is that you are going to come up with the flow charts of what is the operation that occur in the business, okay? For example, if the business is producing something, there has to be purchasing of supplies from the suppliers. There has to be some manufacturing. There has to be some sale, and there has to be some deliveries. If the business has lots of employees, you probably have to manage the employee in some way. You have to take attendance. You have to pay them. You have to get the leave application, right? And if you're managing like a project management, like the business that do subcontracting, you probably have to do project management. You have to do like Gantt chart of who's doing what, right? Or if you are heavily relying on selling, you might need to do customer relation management, right? Something like that. So all of this is actually encapsulating in a single centralized software, and they're all connected together. So which is quite powerful, right? Okay, so in your project, you probably won't be able to capture all the processes, but you just pick the ones that are, I guess, quite substantial enough in terms of the complexity, okay? And then once you do the business requirement, then you can start to simulate the process in the software itself. So how does it work? If you are going to change from what they are doing traditionally. So usually you will find that most businesses use Excel to record everything. And you want to change from Excel into the ERP system, and you're going to simulate it in for you. And then maybe you can show them to the business owner to see if they like it or not, okay? And then once you start doing that, you're going to find that what I call the vanilla software, the bare bones software that comes after installation will need some customization. So you might want to add some specific field to your form, or maybe use some other things, the reports, for example. So we can, I'll teach you some of it later on, okay? And then the next thing is once you do all of this, then you can start to analyze what's going on, right? And that's I guess that's the core idea of what I want you to have experience with in this part, right? So when you analyze what you're doing in terms of the business process, and then what's changed in terms of the software, then you're going to see that you can compare. Like if in your simulated workflow, right? What's going on? Like, is there anything that's different from the existing process? For example, you are changing from recording everything in Excel or manually in terms of paper, and you want to do it with the software. What's the difference, right? Is it better? Is it? I guess it should be better overall. But there are also some downside, like the complexity, or you have to train you have to train the personnel. There's a high learning curve in doing that, right? And usually you can start to see the improvement, right? Usually what we're looking for is the efficiency, right? And accuracy. That's the big selling part of introducing like software or digital transformation into the business. You want efficiency and accuracy, right? And scalability is also another thing that you can look at, okay? So try to highlight some of it, right? And then is there any challenges, right, in terms of implementing the ERP system in the real business, right? So that if you can do this, then I'm happy, right? This is the core message of what I'm doing, what I want to teach you how about the ERP. So the solution, and then how does it affect or impact the business, essentially. Okay, and then I guess in the end, what you are going to deliver is the presentation only. I don't need the full reports or anything. Just I guess present your findings. Okay, so maybe we'll just set aside just one or two classes for presentation, and I haven't come up with the format yet, but usually I was thinking about like if you are going to present this, you are going to talk about the project, right? What is your business, and then what is the requirement, right? So usually you do the flow charts, and then what are you going to change into the ERP system, right? And then what did you do in terms of configuration your software in order to match the requirement, right? And then maybe you can show how you simulate the process, maybe just a sample of it, right? You show that you have some transaction in your system, and there's a report, dashboard, or anything that you can show. And then I guess the important part is the analysis, right? What's changed? Like once you implement ERP system, maybe what's the difference? Is it better, or is it? I guess it should be better, but is there any challenge that needs to happen in order for the system to be function? And then is there anything you want to recommend, right? So that is a big part of the projects that maybe you should have some experience learning on today. Let me ask you real quick if I guess the biggest challenge in conducting the project is actually to find the business. Like I just want to make sure that you have some resources, right? ถ้าเกิดต้องหาธุรกิจนี้พอหาได้ไหมรู้จักอะไรใครสักคนไหมหรอเป็นประมาณไหนธุรกิจประมาณไหน
เป็นธุรกิจค้าปลีกค่ะ
ของใครครับของป้า
เพิ่งเริ่มมาค่ะ
อ๋อโอเคโอเคขอข้อมูลเขาได้ไหมครับ
ได้ค่ะ
นะโอเคOkay, so the thing about the business is that if they're willing to share the data with you, that will be the best. If they don't want to share anything, then don't pick that business. Because then you cannot do anything without the actual data. มันพอจะมีธุรกิจที่มันแบบไม่มีเลยเนาะมีเพื่อนไม่มีเนาะที่บ้านทำอะไรครับ
ที่บ้านทำนาครับ
ทำนา
ผม
เฮ้ยทำนาก็สามารถใช้ ERP ได้จริงของที่บ้านไปก่อนแล้วกันเนาะโอเคได้ Okay, if your family do some business, you can also, and that's actually the best because that's your own business, right? So maybe try พอมีธุรกิจไหมครับหรือที่บริษัทก็ได้นะครับ
เป็นโมเดลของทางบริษัท
ครับโทษถามได้ไหมบริษัทอะไรครับ
ฮาน่า
โอ้โหใช่อาจจะลองดูก็ได้เนาะโอเคแต่ว่าฮาน่าก็น่าจะมีอยู่แล้วระดับหนึ่งหรือเปล่าครับ
เอาพวกโปรเซสในการทำงานมา
ลองดูครับลองดูมีไหมที่บ้านทำอะไรเอ่ย
บ้านแฟนเป็นโรงน้ำดื่ม
โอเคได้เลยชื่ออะไรนะชื่ออะไรอ๋อนึกว่าชื่อแบบโอเคได้ Okay, do you think you can find some business like local business or do you have connection to any business owners?
Basically, I would just have to ask some local businesses.
Doesn't have to be in Thailand. It can be anywhere if you have like connection from your hometown. So actually yeah.
Your parents?
Your parents?
His
Okay.
His father's working at
No, but it's okay as long as you can, your dad can describe the business process and can share some data. I think that's perfectly fine because I guess she also worked in the big company,
Okay,
but then
Siemens actually they don't want to share.
sure. Or fake data is fine, but it's up to you, right? But okay. Or I guess the last choice would be just come up with your own, right? Just search internet and see if you can find some information on how this is
And the
conducted.
data should be on what exactly?
You'll see as we go through each of the models. So
But it's just like cash flow maybe or
usually transaction. That's what I'm interested in. Like what you sell, what's going, like what did you pay, how much did you pay employees, and do they like what is the holidays in your company and things like that. Like what's the item in your, what's the raw material, who's the supplier. There's so many things that you can put into the system depending. All of them can be fake too if that's come to if you cannot find anything. But it's actually it's more fun to like work with the real data, right? Okay. What about you?
So this is me with NIM system.
Oh, okay. They own a business?
NIM system.
Oh, okay. You can work with them. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. อันนี้พอมีไหม
มีธุรกิจที่บ้านครับ
อ๋อ โอเค
เกี่ยวกับปุ๋ย
โอ้โอเค ถ้าอย่างนั้นก็ perfect ได้ลองดูได้ โอเค so it seems like maybe most of you do have some connection to the owners or administrative people in the business, so that's good, okay. But do not take, you don't have to ask for confidential data, okay? It's not necessary. Just enough for you to get the feeling of what's going on. That's enough, okay? All right. So let me first start with the what is ERP, right? I haven't told you anything yet, right? So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So it's technically not the software itself. It's just the way to kind of capture the activity in the organization, right? But as it turns out, the best way to do that just manifests itself into software, because software it's I guess a solution to do that, right? So as it turns out, it's a software, right, that collects information from all the departments in a common database. So it's a software that just kind of control everything in the organization. Basically, all the processes is captured in one software, right? So think about a business. If you don't use ERP, then you're probably going to end up with accounting software. And if you do manufacturing, you probably have some manufacturing-related software. It can be Excel, but it's going to be Excel in another file, right? And if you can do sales, you're going to have another, I guess sales is relating to accounting and purchases. And then human resource, that's another big thing that some organizations do have their own human resource software. And also project management is also possible. Like some people use like online services like Trello or Monday.com. So for maybe a small-ish to medium-sized business, you're probably going to end up with at least 3 software just to begin with, right? And the most, I guess, common problem for that is that they never talk to one another. And it's designed that way because each of the software want you to use their software and they don't want to share the data with other vendors. So what you're going to end up as the business owner is that you don't have visibility in your system. And usually when you want to transfer the data between software, it's basically manual transfer. You have to maybe export data and then re-upload into the other one, which can be quite painful and can cause error. That's even worse, okay? So the ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning software, will kind of solve that problem because they begin with just the assumption that they want to capture every process in one software, right? So unifying critical business function together, and then once you can do that, then it's very easy for you to link everything together and give you organization-wide visibility. So I guess that's the biggest thing when you talk to business owner. Like once the business go more complicated, they don't know what's happening like exactly like in that moment. They don't know what happened in that business, and that's a scary thought. And usually that's what drives people to actually adopt this ERP systems in the first place. Okay, and another thing is that they enforce business processes, and this is one thing that I think can be powerful. So as the business owner, usually you start small, right? And you start by, I guess coming up with your own way of managing the business. But that might not be the most optimum way and not the scalable way to do once your business go bigger. So if you adopt ERP at the beginning, it kind of enforces a certain standards so that it ensures that at least you are following the processes that has been proven in a bigger organization, and that kind of make it easier for you to scale your business up because you already follow the standard developed by a bigger company already. So I think this is a very good side that I'm trying to focus when I talk to the business owner too. Like, are you sure that your business can be scaled, right? And that's the thing. So in a sense, if I want to capture one thing about ERP, I think it's a really complicated software. That's it, because it does everything. So complication is something that cannot be avoided. That's the thing about ERP, is that it has quite a high learning curve, right? Right. So ERP usually divided into modules. Like the module is just different department in their organization. For example, the most important one is finance, right? Accounting. That's the first thing you have to do once you develop the business, right? And then if you have products, then yeah, you can sell products, right? And then if you do manufacturing, you can do MRP, like manufacturing resource planning, something like that. You have to keep track of your stocks, you do inventories, right? If you do service, right? And then you sell your products. And then if you have employees, you do human resources, you purchase, and then you can also keep track of your customer in CRM. So this is not the exhaustive list in the ERP system, and I guess in many ERP software, sometimes they don't have all of this. But usually the one of the most common one are accounting, inventories, and human resources. They are quite common in all of the ERP software. Okay. All right. I guess this is in Thai, so I'm sorry for you guys. So these are the software that Thai business owners usually use when they are, I guess, starting their business. So these are accounting software. So Express is the all-time favorite, right? It's I would say the most popular ones in Thai business, right? And the newer one are a Peak account, for example. That one is the online, which quite easy to use and actually not that expensive. Okay, is this ERP, right? And also there are other things that you might see when you go to maybe a restaurant. They use Food Story when they want to sell you something. They they have the like the screen that has the Food Story logo on it, right? And if you want to do CRM, there are also a service online. You can do My CRM. If you want to do like transportation, there are TTMS. It's called Thai Transportation Management Systems. And also project management, you can do Monday.com, right? Are these ERP software, right? Because when I talk to the business owner, usually they all have this software in their business already, right? Are they using ERP already? Okay. To me, okay, so there's no clear-cut for example, between what is considered ERP and not ERP, right? But for me, my definition of ERP is that it has to enforce, right? The key is to enforce, right? It has to enforce business process, right? So think about this. If I were to use maybe this one right here, this one is an accounting software, so it doesn't really enforce the business process. It just keeps track of the transaction. It's like the bookkeeping. It's like Excel, but with with the design that is more toward the, the accounting activity, right? So this one, you can do any business process. You can do in whatever way you want to conduct your business. It doesn't enforce it, right? So for me, these are not ERP system, okay? And the same thing with this. So these are just a little part in the activity, but they don't enforce how the data are flowing from maybe the customer all into your bank account. It doesn't enforce that flow. So if it doesn't enforce that flow, for me, I don't think that's ERP. So usually ERP, it has to connect the dots, from your customers or your CRM and all the way into your account. If they are enforcing the flow of data all the way through, yeah, I think that's, to me, fall into the definition of ERP. Okay? But it can be a little bit fuzzy because, for example, this food story, they are doing the POS, which is point of sale, but they also control inventory too. So it kind of enforcing the customer side all the way into your inventory, but it doesn't do accounting. So it's not the complete flow. So for me, it's still not ERP in my definition, but it's coming close. And some of the software actually integrating like maybe a human resource into their module. So it's maybe some of the software are, I guess, getting close, right? But usually it doesn't do that. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So ERP, if you can implement it in the business, I think that's very good in terms of the benefit that you have seen. But it's actually quite difficult. From what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of companies that are successful yet. Okay, because there are many challenges. Okay, so first is the budget. So usually the ERP software costs a lot. For example, the standard one is called SAP. Okay, and if you want to install this in your business, they charge you at least 1 million baht for installation. So they fly the expert from the I don't know, their headquarters, and they implement them for they customize the software for you, and they charge upfront like 1 million baht, for example, and then and you have to pay the maintenance cost in the order of maybe 20,000 baht per month or something. So prepare to pay in the range of like 1 million baht per year or something like that. So that's the amount that they're charging in terms of a bigger organization. Okay, so it's quite expensive, right? And then once you have that software, another problem is that you got to teach everyone in your organization to use it, and that's another challenge because it's quite complicated. And then even if you train them already, there's always little problems that occur due to the complexity of the software. So you gotta like do some like always gonna do the training is never ending basically. Like, and then once you have the system installed, because it's so complex, then the person who maintains it also needs to be knowledgeable. It has to be a dedicated IT guy, or if you resource to the vendor, they're probably not cheap, right? And then another thing is that if the ERP that you are using is actually developed in another country, then they might not have the localization that you need. For example, tax is a big thing, and also maybe like receipt and things like that. So tax is usually the big thing that prevents you from using the ERP right away because it's specific to your country. Okay. So what are the ERP products out there in the market? So these are the names that you might come across if you search for ERP system in Google. For example, Oracle, NetSuite, right? SAP, another popular one. Microsoft Dynamics and Sage Intacct. So So there are more, definitely there are more, but these are the big player, right? So I'm trying to find my best because I never used it, I never pay for it because I cannot, it's too expensive. But usually if you want to use any of these, this guy right here, you're probably going to have to pay the installation fee, which I mentioned is quite expensive. And then these are the monthly fee. So this is the information that I can find off the internet from here. So I'm not sure how accurate they are, but I think it's the amount in the ballpark. It's reasonable. What is what I expect. So you expect to pay something in the order of like 10 to 20,000 baht per month if you have many users. Okay, so usually for small and medium business, especially in Thailand, so these are out of the questions. So what other choice do we have? We have this one, Odoo, right? You guys have heard of Odoo before? Yes? Okay, yeah. Odoo is actually doing quite well in Thailand. They actually aggressively marketing the SME in Thailand. And I think they're doing quite well in terms of popularity. Odoo is the ERP system, but they aim toward the smaller businesses, and then the prices are much cheaper. So as you can see, it's $25 per user if you want to use their cloud services. But as you can follow along, there are some pretty convincing word right here, free. Okay, so Odoo is actually free, right? I'll talk to you about it later. But in this class, I'm not going to use Odoo today. I'm going to use another competitor, I would say. But it's not actually a competitor because it's quite small in Thailand right now. But I have a belief that this one might take over Odoo in the, I guess, in somewhat not too near future. But this one is coming, I think. Okay, so it's called ERPNext. Okay. And also ERPNext, it's same target audience. As you can see that the price is also not too expensive. But I would say that this is $50 is actually unlimited users. So if you're using Odoo, and have more than 2 users in your system, then ERPNext is already cheaper. Okay. But also ERPNext has another option which is very lucrative, free. Okay. So both of them actually can be free. So what is the catch, right? Okay, so for Odoo, if you want to do the free option, you gotta do this version, community, right? So what's the catch? The community version has limited functionality. That's the catch. Okay, so that's something that I don't like about Odoo is they want to force you to pay. So they are purposely limited their functionality for you to pay, right? So this one is actually getting worse. So before, they are only blocking a feature that's only, I guess, critical for bigger business. The ones that are common, they release it for free. But right now, they are blocking more features in hope that even the small or medium business are turning into the paid customers. So that's why I don't like Odoo, because they are kind of, I guess, strangle you slowly in order to pay, right? So, but then if you pay, of course, you get the full functionality. And I would say that it's not a bad software. It's pretty good, and it has a very big community in the world, and even in Thailand, it's actually quite big. Like you have a lot of Thai customizations available from the community already. Okay? All right, so that's why I turned to ERPNext. This is the new kid on the block. ERPNext is developed by a company in India, and the business model is that it's an open source software, like totally open source, meaning that it's free, also free, but then it's full functionality. So they don't block any functionality if you want to use the software. You get the code, and then you can install on your own hardware, which I did. And for you guys, you are going to use it. It's actually running downstairs in the office, running on a desktop, and you're going to use it. So if you want to do it on premise, that means that if you install on your own software, your own hardware, it's completely free forever. So there's no catch, right? And if you wonder like why is this free, like how is this possible, like there is actually a free things in the world, I'll tell you a little bit more about that business model, right? But then if you want to pay, like if you don't want to maintain everything by yourself, you can do the cloud version, which costs $50 per month and unlimited user. So I think even the paid version for ERPNext, I think it's, the price is very reasonable, because $50 for the medium business is actually nothing, right? Okay, so what about, maybe I'll just mention right now. So why is this free, right? Because in the company, they know that as the new, I guess, new entry in the ERP community, like if they charge money, nobody's going to use it because they already have, a lot of big guys in the market. So they got to do something, I guess, radically different. So that's why they are offering everything as the open source, right? But then, in hope that if you use their product and you like it enough, then you are going to convert from this to here. Because once you, I guess you can start with, like installing everything on premise, right? But then you're going to find out that your time is actually better spent on managing your business rather than maintaining software. And as your business grows, like $50 is nothing. So you probably is going to want to do this anyway if you are, like if you value your time. So that's one of the things. And another thing is that if your business grows to a certain size, actually they offer something called the partner. You can become their partner. And if you become their partner, then you get dedicated support, meaning that any problems or any like specific customization that you need, you can have the headquarter come and help you. And they're actually charging quite an amount of money on that tier. So, which, I mean, I guess if your company grows into the size where you are going to partner with them, that means you're earning a lot of money anyway. So that amount of money is actually reasonable for the, I guess, for the service that they are offering, okay? So for me, this one also benefits me because I can use the full system for free, and you guys are going to use it today and in this class also for free, right? Which is, I guess it's a win-win situation. If you don't like it, just don't use it, that's all, right? Okay, so why I choose ERPNext, right? It's open source, 100% open source, right? And it's actually a pretty good software, like in my experience, because I'm also the software developer, and I look into the system, and I like the way that they design the software. I think it's very maintainable, and it's very scalable. Odoo is a bit, I guess it's very too complicated to understand for me. I think ERPNext is I guess it's a newer version of like incarnation of how to develop the software, right? Okay. Okay. I'm probably gonna skip this one, but I'm just gonna let you know quickly that actually ERPNext is a software, right? But it's actually written on another software called Frappe. Okay, and this Frappe is actually written on Python. Okay, okay. So you guys probably heard of Python, right? Python is a language that you can use to write software, right? But then, so normally if you write, like maybe you can see in Ajahn Attapon part that he's gonna teach you how to write software in Python. From Python, right? You're just gonna do your software, and that's I guess that's expected, right? You use computer language to write software. But that's when your software is not too complicated. But if your software is very complicated, it's actually better to write a software that power another software. So Frappe is a software that writes from Python. And this is not the software itself, it's the software that you use to write another software. So it's another, I guess, layer of abstraction. So that if you want to modify this thing, you only go to this layer, Frappe. And you're going to find it that this layer is actually quite user friendly. It's actually like mouse click, and you adding things, like if you want to add customization, you do it through this layer, Frappe, and it is a low code solution. So most of you can also customize the software by yourself without knowing about Python. So that's what I like about it. For Odoo, if you want to customize Odoo, you got to know Python. And nobody wants to learn Python just to customize one software. That's too much, right? But here, you only need to know Frappe, which is just mouse click and just type things and very easy in order to customize ERPNext. So I like this approach a lot. By what they say, they built the general purpose framework before writing the actual software. And what's cool about this is that once they do this, this general framework, so ERPNext is not the only thing that they built. They actually built something else. For example, healthcare. So they built the management system for healthcare. If you open like a clinic or like a small hospital, you can also use this software for free to manage hospital or healthcare service. Or if you open like a school, a small school, not university, like a tutoring school, you can also use Frappe application to manage your entire education organization. And also, they also built CRM because CRM is so big that they want to separate it out into like a dedicated CRM software. And everything is actually built on Frappe. And they use the same system to customize. So once you know how to customize ERPNext, you kind of know how to customize all of this already. So that's kind of cool. That's what I like a lot too. Okay, all right. So before we go into the details of ERPNext, I want to just emphasize, right? So nothing is free, right? The software, what's free is called the license. License fee meaning you don't have to pay them in order to use the software. But then the software itself does cost money in terms of who are going to maintain it for you, who are going to install the software for you. It's going to be someone with technical knowledge, and that's the price that you pay them, right? And also, you got to have some hardware. And this application doesn't run on laptop, right? It's much more than that, right? So you got to have some server-grade hardware. That's not cheap, right? And also, somebody who come and maintain the operation, usually you have to pay them. And I guess in the market, these guys that do maintenance and operation, they call implementer. Okay, yeah. And I have talked to quite various implementer in Thailand, and they're not cheap. Usually they charge quite a bit. You expect to pay up to maybe $10,000 per month if you need them a lot. So that's the cost that you might need to pay, right? But again, if you know everything, if you like study everything by yourself, then of course everything's free, right? But that's not what your time should be spent on. Your time should be spent on managing your business rather than doing all of this, right? Okay, and just want to make sure, just want to let you know for the Thai people that actually we just launched the Thai community. So I'm part of it because I'm quite active in the community too. So we just had the Thai community forum. I just want to advertise, but I guess let me show this. So usually in the Frappe forum, if the community in the country is big enough, they'll build the dedicated section for the country. So like for example, they have like one for India, one for Germany, and things like that. But we just have one for Thailand. So it's a big step forward, which might not mean anything to you guys, but it's actually quite cool, right? Sorry, you have questions? Yeah, this company is found in India, yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's used in many countries. I've seen, like looking through all this posts, you're gonna see people from all around the world. And each country, they have their own communities. And once the community are big enough, they become like officially partner with the headquarters in India.
How could they grow that much without charging any license fee?
Exactly. This is how they do. Let me go back to this. slides again. Right here. See, they offer the service on cloud, which costs $50 per month. So what usually happens is that, yeah, it's free. Everybody do this version for free, right? But then they're going to find out very quickly that maintaining this software actually takes time and knowledge. So if you don't want to pay, right, you gotta pay someone. So in Thailand, there are implementers that offer this service to maintain and I guess solve your problem for you, right? But they actually charge money, and they charge money actually more than this. So I guess your best bet for the smaller company would be actually use this service and then ditch the implementer. It's actually cheaper. So that's another thing.
So the implementer is not from ERPNext.
No, the implementer can be any software house. For example, like if you know enough about ERPNext, you can start up a company that actually maintain.
But if we decide to go on like cloud and use the paid version, then the only thing they will charge you is $50.
Yeah, yeah. And then most of the problem, yeah.
Also like maintain it.
Yeah, yeah. So usually they, okay, let me, there's a fine print on that. So if you do it here, that means the infrastructure is already taken care of. So you don't have to know anything about what's happening on the cloud. Just like all the data are all backed up, and they make sure that your server is always online. So that's a big thing, right? So that's all taken care of. And then any of the updating software, they do that for you automatically. So if there's any problem, you can complain, and they'll fix any technical bug, and I guess any bug in the software for you, right? And that's taken care of. The only thing that might happen if you go on this route is that if you have questions in terms of like how do you use the functionality in regard to your business process. So that question you have to ask somebody else. They don't answer. So if you ask like the Frappe company, like how do I implement the sale module in my business, they don't answer like that. They only answer technical questions. So for that, you're probably gonna need implementer, because some implementer actually like advise you on how to adapt the software into your business process, which is what you guys are going to learn in this course. You guys are going to be somewhat like an implementer. Like an implementer is someone who actually know business analysis. You have to know how to analyze the business flow, and you have to know enough of the software to know how to implement that software onto the business itself. So that's what you guys gonna learn how to be, right? And usually this skill come from trying to implement software in the real business. So that's the reason I asked you to find the real business. Because once you do that, you're gonna see, like you're gonna have that skill. So maybe it will be useful or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's why.
Possible to invest in this company like SAP or Salesforce or Microsoft, or is it like they don't need like money from outside? They're like just one team and working from India.
Say that again. Say the question again.
They don't need like they don't have like shareholder investing in this company, right?
Oh, you mean the ERPNext? Oh, I mean this one, the company is called Frappe. They actually have that's a real the real company, and they So let me the full picture is that so these are the products, right? But then they also offer like a customized service for big enterprise. So once your business are much bigger than the SME business, then this one is not enough for you. You need like specialists with like special customization, and that's when the price just blow up, and that's private contract. They don't advertise that price for you, because I guess it's case by case, right? For example, I know that some of the government Thai government are actually using ERPNext right now, and they probably partner with the headquarter, and I don't know how much they pay. They're probably like a private contract. And I know some of the big company in Thailand, like Macro, they are using ERPNext too. and McDonald's, but they don't use it all. They just use it in some of the module. Yet, so I guess they're experimenting because I've seen the company that convert from SAP into ERPNext, and they save like 10 times the money because it's much cheaper. Like even though they are charging a lot of the service, but the license is free. So then actually, right off the bat, you're saving the license cost already. So I think that's why I think ERPNext is it's an upcoming system. Like I like the business model, and I think it's targeting the right customer. So we'll see. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of money actually in this market, and yeah, we'll see. Okay. Okay. All right. So that's the beginning.